Hey, welcome to the best of everything. It's the first show of 2020. I am Ruben Paul, and across from me is my brother, Johnny Sanchez, who's turned over a new leaf in 2020. He's going to be a better man, less annoying.
That's right.
And we'll still keep good chemistry, man.
And good chemistry.
Yeah.
And even though
listen to how calm Johnny is.
Even though I'm against my dad's wishes to take 2020 is just start punching people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take his advice just yet.
With certain people, you know, certain nights maybe.
Yeah, the old thump in the chest.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Remember those in the back of the day in school?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to thump him in his chest and see what happens after that. I miss the old thump in the chest.
Thump in the chest, but more frequently was the shove.
Oh, no, that's right. Well, also the shoulder Charlie.
To shoulder. Remember the shoulder to shoulder going in a circle? Did you guys ever do that?
What?
Oh, man. Dude.
Shoulder to shoulder.
What's up, fool?
I see what you mean. Like this.
Yeah.
I thought you meant side by side.
It's just like, then you just,
it's
a big shove.
Well,
and then it's like, who's going to
here's the thing. I never did the shoulder to shoulder.
Because you're too short?
That's a good
That's
point.
Probably why. Yeah.
Well,
you'd be shoulder to hip.
Yeah, I'd be shoulder
to hip.
Shoulder to hip. The only reason
you want some of this, man?
You want some of this?
You want some of this?
And I'm like that. You want some of this? No, the only reason was because early on, before I had even gotten into boxing, my dad always said, "Stay more than arm's length away."
Oh, gotcha.
Because he said if you get close, then they can throw an uppercut or a hook or whatever.
Well, but if
I didn't do I never really got into that face to face or shoulder to shoulder thing.
But when you
shoulder to hip,
when you actually got into fights, though, I mean, you had to try to get close and inside to smother somebody with longer arms. You know?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But my dad was always like, if you feel like it's gonna happen, remember what was his
hit
advice?
First.
Punch first.
Punch first. Absolutely.
And don't stop.
That's great. That's good advice to start off 2020, man.
Hit Punch first.
Don't stop. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year.
This is our first show. I think we've been off for what, two weeks?
We did December 18th was our last last one. So with 3 weeks, it's the third week. Yeah.
Third week.
Been off for 2, and now we're back on.
And your holidays were good?
Yeah, my holidays were great. Bee's been out here, so I took her with me up north and with the family, and it was great, man. She's
How long did you guys stay with the family?
5 days.
Oh wow,
yeah.
I bet your parents like that. I mean, having Bee there, maybe not you for 5 days, but I'm sure they were happy to have her.
Yeah, and then you know how I get. I always feel bad when I come home because I'm like, I start getting a little impatient sometimes with my mom and dad. And
leave them alone.
I know.
I know.
I'm just, but it's just hard sometimes because they forget things and stuff like that.
Well, you know, it's interesting.
But I shouldn't do that.
But I envy that in a way because I never really got to see my parents get older. You know what I mean? And
I never really thought about it like that.
And the older we get, you know, it's almost like the roles reversed between parents and child. Like they took care of us our whole lives, and now that they're getting older, it's like they can't walk as fast anymore. They're forgetful for things. It's like life is weird. I think Carlin did a bit about that, like how things reverse, like how it should be in reverse. You should start off old and get younger and go back into the womb. You know what I mean? I remember thinking that when I was a kid, like feel like life would have been better if we started old and then went the other direction. And it's always tough to see your parents getting older, and then there's this respectful part. It's like, I'm yelling at my dad right now. Like, why am I yelling?
You know, I know, dude. I'm like, I mean, I don't raise, but there's times I have to be firm. Like, no, you're not. I'm not. We can't let you do that, or you can't go there by yourself.
Especially you tell me with the driving sometimes, right?
With the driving, and then remember we talked about this with the cell phone.
Yeah.
So he was gonna go take a look at the my old TV.
How old is your dad, by the way, right now?
84 and a half.
Because he just had a birthday.
May. So he's coming up on 85, dude, in less than 6 months now already. So
man, he looks great.
he looks good,
and he still exercises.
and he still lifts weights.
Yeah.
In his little gym in the little, what do you call one of those little?
If you see Johnny's dad, he actually looks better than Johnny. He probably has abs and everything.
Wow.
I haven't seen
His
him in a
arms
while.
look great.
His arms look great.
'Cause he
'Cause I
really-
just see the pictures of.
Yeah.
Oh, he does curls.
He does all his knees are bad, so he can't really do all the leg work like he
okay.
used to. So,
Yeah.
so he just goes in there and he just pumps iron. He calls pumps iron.
Man, I wish we could get him down. You bring him down here, man.
Well, you'll be out there in April.
Oh, that's when we're doing it in April?
Yeah, April
Okay.
for the Boys and Girls Club show.
Okay.
April 4th.
Oh,
So-
it's April 4th.
April 4th.
Okay, I
yeah,
gotta
so
make
save
sure.
that day. Oh, I told you already.
No, you said you were going to reconfirm it.
No, I said save April 4th,
my
bro.
God.
Oh, who are you guys going to believe? Me or the guy who's constantly having to be reminded of things?
Oh, really? So now me and your dad have to be reminded of things. Everybody has to be. Oh, whatever. Oh, so April 4th, which is Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Which is Pat Buckles' birthday.
Well, there you go.
I was going to say happy pre-early birthday, Pat.
That was like my my dad. I don't know why I thought this was so funny, but my mom sneezed, and then instead of saying, we always say bless you, and in the with everybody, and then my dad. She sneezed and he said, "Excuse me." I don't know why. And he goes, "Excuse me." Why did I say? But little things like that, you know what I mean, where the mind kind of slips or whatever. But but it was just fun to hang out with everybody. And again, we got my 69 T-Bird running, so I want to give a thanks to Jeff Toledo. Epa, my Portuguese buddy in Tulare.
And how long have you had the T-Bird?
We've had the T-Bird in our family since it's his 1969 T-Bird, and we've had it since 1970.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, Stan Felton. Stan has not missed an episode, dude.
Thank you, Stan.
From Tulare, California. So we got my 69 T-Bird started, which I was really excited about. So Jeff Toledo, and my buddy Danny Sandos, shout out to, I'm sorry, Whisper Out.
No, you said shout out. You said it right.
Whisper out to
2020. You slipped it.
2020.
Actually, Albert Cornejo says whisper out, little joker.
Orale, Wari.
Hello, Ruben.
Bringing in 2020,
What's
huh?
up, Albert? And Eddie Hutch and Yanni, my boy Yanni, joined in.
Thanks, guys.
So, man, I'm excited about this new year, brother.
So wait, yeah. Well, wait a minute. I went up
How
north.
many shout outs are you going to get?
No.
Oh, okay.
I went up north, got to see my family, got the 69 T-Bird running. It's more like a family heirloom than anything because my mom learned to drive in that car. My sisters learned to drive. We all drove it in high school. So it just had such a history. We just feel like we can't get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, this might have been 5-10 years ago. Didn't you buy a classic car?
No, I brought it out to LA.
You brought it to LA.
I had it in LA.
Oh, okay.
And then when
You were paying to get stuff fixed on it.
yeah, but I was driving when I was living in Encino.
Uh-huh.
That was my Sunday cruise, and then when what happened was when I moved to South Carolina, I didn't ship it. I took it to storage.
Got
and then
it.
that's
when it.
And my dad would go start it, and then he kind of fell off the routine, and then it sat there for the last couple of years not running. And we got it running. Let me tell you something about those 429 engines, dude. Those things were on forever. So I kept thinking, is he going to be able to get this started up? Oh, thanks, buddy. Chris, everybody. Anyway, all right. So I was like, oh, sorry, Facebook. And anyway, so dude, that thing I showed you the videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like running and everything. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna go back up there. We're gonna do some more work on it. Just replace all the stuff, So how was what were you gonna ask me?
And you're gonna drive it back? At some point?
My dad
or are you gonna keep it up there?
my dad wants to just put some new tires and rims on it. And as long as it's running, he'll park it in front of their house and take it for a spin.
Oh, cool.
and all that until I think I'm ready to bring it out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, hey, Dominique.
Neek. What up?
Oh yeah,
Neek.
Neek.
Yeah, I call Dominique Neek.
Yeah. You know what? You have a verbal laziness about you. You got to
give people nicknames.
No, not because it's nicknames. It's the nicknames are always way shorter than their names. So there's a laziness about speaking.
Whoa,
and
what? You're trying to say black people are lazy?
No, I'm talking about
it's
you.
a cultural thing.
Hey,
see, you don't hang around enough.
Don't brought it.
No, you see, this is how we're starting off. It's a cultural thing it shows the closeness of a relationship sometimes. Do you think I call you Johnny when you're not around?
Yeah. You don't have a nickname for me.
Yeah,
You've
do.
never. Oh.
I do. But you wouldn't like it. But
Shit
anyway.
starting Sanchez. That one?
Well, I do call you that.
Yeah.
That's longer than usual, but this is for people I actually really like. I cut their names short. And you come up with nicknames. It's just like an endearing
Mexicans
thing, man.
do this. We have nicknames too, but they don't all have to just be like real.
But they don't fit.
Um,
usually when
my mom used to call me Chongo. That's monkey in Spanish.
That does fit.
She said I look like a little monkey.
Yeah, but that's your mom.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's a
yeah,
bit
but
more.
a heavy set Mexican guy's nickname is Gordo.
Well, those are
and then
insults.
and then the anorexic girl is Flaca.
Flaca. Yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah.
No, it's your appearance.
But we're talking about giving people nicknames who are close to us. Yeah, good job, Chris. I mean, you're really on it today. That's Chris, our engineer.
Who we were here early. We would have started on time at 1:00, but we end up starting 2020.
This is 20. Chris, how are you doing, man? How was your holiday?
We'll get to you in a second.
Yeah. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. I basically spent the 2 weeks not forgetting everything I've learned.
Okay, we can see that.
Oh,
we can see that, Chris. Thank you for being transparent and honest.
You have a little bit of like you're a little brain dead, like catching up on everything.
I think hopefully by tomorrow I'll be back 100%. But it's been a couple weeks.
We're not here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Could you have said that yesterday?
Yeah. Could you be be 100% today, Chris? How about that? No, but good. It's good to see you back, Chris, and we appreciate you. We just
and did you stay in town for Christmas and New Year's, or were you out of town?
All my family is in Huntington Beach, so they're about 45 minutes away.
Wow. So I didn't know you were brown privilege. Didn't realize that. That's my new term for 2020.
He's not.
Oh, yeah. Huntington Beach, dude.
They need workers out there.
Get
too.
this, everybody. Chris, he's Mexican and something else, but they offered surfing classes in high school at Huntington Beach High. He took them.
Oh, really?
Surfing classes.
How did the ironing board do on the water? I know you couldn't afford a surfboard.
Was it a pressing situation? Anybody?
The irony.
We're starting off
We're good, man. But I mean, my holidays were good. But here's I want to talk about this. I want to get to what we're going to talk about.
Hey, Beltran. Today. What up, brother?
Anthony
Beltran. All right.
So, every time there's a new year, people come up with resolutions. This is what I'm going to do. And all those things I think are important to give you new focus because the beginning of a new year, it's very symbolic. It's a new 365 days. And, we talk privately all the time about, every day any of us wake up, we have an opportunity to change our lives for the better.
Yeah.
If that's what we choose to do. But I had an interesting conversation last night. Last night we did Ruby Tuesdays. I had George Lopez. It was a great
show.
We got George Flupez here.
Somebody play lowrider. Somebody play lowrider real quick. What happened?
You don't sound like George. I
sound just like
you sound
him.
like George with the flu, man.
Ruben says it's George Flupez. All right.
Anyway. But just having him on the show last night, and just for the past few weeks, I've been having a lot of conversations with people about like their work work ethic, how they got there, et cetera, et cetera. And I was watching a clip Neil Brennan. No, I don't think it was Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan put up a clip with Chappelle because they aired it last night on PBS's Mark Twain Award.
Right, the Mark Twain Award, right.
But somebody had posted something, and you hear this so much, and I think we get caught up in the cliches, and we just kind of just go, oh, that's just another cliche. But, man, when you talk to people who are really successful and you realize the amount of effort it takes for a lot of people to get to where they are, it's easy to see why they're successful.
Yeah.
Because people who are successful are usually willing to do the things other people aren't willing to do.
True.
And, Kevin Hart made the whole thing famous. Like, people want success but aren't willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
But it's never really defined what the work is, what it really does take, and what people are willing to do. It's interesting. Somebody will work 10 hours on a day job because they have to, because they need to earn a living, et cetera, et cetera. But to be self-motivated, to try to get yourself where you want to be in life, that takes a certain amount of determination. And I was just talking to George, and he was telling this story, and I won't go into it because I'm sure he's probably going to want to do it in a book or something else. But he talked about having the opportunity to put together a television set. Like they were looking at him. He knew they were looking at him. And just casually, he goes, yeah, man. So when I got the call, he was like, I just sat down for 10 to 12 hours and blah, 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 working on my shit. And it kind of just went, and I just said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You sat down and worked for 10 to 12 hours on your act? And somebody out there could say, bullshit. He didn't sit down for 10 to 12 hours. But he's one of the biggest comedians in the world, so I'm going to believe him.
Yeah. Plus, you've worked with him.
Plus, I've worked with him.
And
I
you've
know,
seen his work ethic when he does a week.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we want things, but we're not willing to truly make those sacrifices. And even, being transparent about myself, it's like sometimes when you feel like you're naturally talented at something, you don't feel like you have to work as hard. And I think the greats are talented, and they have the work ethic of somebody who's not talented.
Correct.
And that's how they succeed. And especially in this business, it's a lot about perseverance. Like, we all know somebody, and we've talked about this before, like most comedians, athletes, they can always tell you somebody that they know that was funnier than them, that was a better athlete than they were, but yet they're the ones who are a huge success and the other ones aren't. And usually it comes down to discipline. Man, do you think I'm funny, but blah, blah, blah is hilarious, man. If he wouldn't have got caught up in this, and that, if he wouldn't have done this, or if he would have
applied himself, or
Exactly. I'm sure it's one of those things where the difference between success and failure, for a lack of a better
or not reaching
your potential is the work you're willing to do, the sacrifice you're willing to make to get it done. And I think, there's 24 hours in a day, and we waste more time than we actually think that we do.
Yeah.
And then when you're conscious of it, I know for myself, I get this pit in my stomach like, yo, dude, I wasted 2 hours on Instagram.
Yeah.
When I could have been writing or putting that into my act, or, writing a screenplay, or, working on my pilot, or whatever that is. So just being more conscious and really understanding what it takes to get to where you're trying to go, like really being conscious of it. And I just want to, there's countless examples. I think we talked about Jerry Rice. Steve Young told the story.
Yeah, right.
After they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think we talked about this in private, right?
Yeah. Like after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They go back to the facilities to clear out their lockers. And Steve Young walks out, and Jerry Rice is on the field running routes right after the Super Bowl. Why are we even wondering why he's one of the greatest of all times?
Yeah.
And Chappelle said something one time. They're like, what's your secret? What is it about you? And it's like perseverance. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to work and push to try to achieve these goals. And when you do have talent, I think that's that's the tipping point on how much we're willing to sacrifice. I mean, you have talked about that and have tried to own it, and work harder.
Yeah.
So my commitment in 2020 is to work even harder. I do feel like I'm a hard worker, but I want to work smarter and I want to be more consistent.
Right. Dude, those are all good points. And I'm gonna bring up somebody in a second. But Trenton's like, my work ethic sucked. It's not because I never learned how to work, but I've learned what it means. Self-motivation, working for hours, sometimes working on little things over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, and I'm not going to say the comic's name. You'll know who I'm talking about because, whether. But I remember years ago, and we know how his work ethic, but he came up to me one time and he specifically said this to me, and he also brought up Luke Torres. And he was like, hey, bro, hey. But he was like, Johnny, bro, I got to work 2-3 times harder than you and Luke, bro. You guys are naturally talented, bro. And I don't have that talent, bro. So I got to work 3 times harder than you guys to keep up, bro. And I remember it was like, wow, like he was so honest. So and he did, and he's
and
always,
what was the end result of his hard work? He did a ton of television appearances.
First of all, 10 Tonight Show appearances.
Yeah,
without being on a TV series or anything. And he was always had his notepad, man. Every gig we did, and for real, not the fake thing with the notepad, but the real. He would always be like, but I never forget him saying it because I remember he kind of made me kind of go, oh man, I guess I should work a little harder.
Yeah,
he's just like, it comes natural for you guys, bro.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say who it is because it's a compliment.
Oh, yeah,
it's Willie Barcena.
Yeah,
and I remember coming up in the game, man. Willie used to go to this coffee shop around the corner from his house. That's where he'd meet everybody there. If you wanted to meet with Willie, you'd have to meet there.
Why? At that coffee shop, bro.
Why? Because he would be there writing.
Yeah.
And I just want to be more committed to fulfilling my destiny, going after my dreams. Yeah. And do I work hard? Yes. Can I work harder? Absolutely. And the truth of that is what's going to get you to where you want to be. If you keep fooling yourself thinking that you're doing everything you possibly can and you're not getting the results, it's obvious that you need to be doing more.
There's something that you're not doing.
That you're not doing.
Hey, Trent said, I thought drugs made it happen, but that wasn't it.
Yeah.
And we had a long conversation about that on one of the podcasts about the greats.
Yeah.
Would they have been, would Pryor and even Carlin used to smoke weed, and there was just, there's a lot that used.
And here's something interesting, Johnny. And we've had this conversation, but I've had this conversation with a lot of comics. They're like, "Yo, man, whatever year it is, 2020, dude, man, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna start hitting all the clubs, man, like I used to do when I first started out. Yeah. Man, remember we used to hustle and do this, and that. It's like, but at some point you made a choice to stop. Whatever it is, life stuff happens or whatever, or you just get set in your ways.
Sometimes it comes down to like, man, I want to get paid every single time,
But if you're really trying to accomplish something, you're going to have to do more than the average. You know what I mean? It's going to take an extraordinary amount of work to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So you can't put average effort in expecting the extraordinary to happen. Right. And being a multimillionaire, being hugely successful, being a star, there's lots of components that have to come together to make that happen. But the number one component is showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to do a better job at that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, I'm grateful for where I am, what I've accomplished, great things happening as we currently are speaking. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But I know where I want to be. I know what my goals are. So more so than ever, I'm focused and have a map on what I need to do to accomplish what I need to accomplish.
Right.
And it's that clarity I think that we all need, because sometimes, you're sitting and you're like, this isn't the life that I want for myself.
Exactly.
And it's not saying that you have a bad life, but sometimes you want more. So if you want more, do more and go get more. It's not like anybody's better than us or more, you know what I mean?
Or more, it's
the work ethic, man.
Work
then there are
ethic.
some people who might seem like things happen for them quicker than others for whatever reasons, right place, the right time. But I think ultimately everyone is going to pay their dues in some type of way. There's some people their dad might be a producer or their dad was a director or a famous actor or whatever, and they got opportunities that most people might not get early on.
Correct.
So it's not about comparing yourself to those people who are going, man, how did this guy get it? How sooner or later, man, it balances itself out. I believe that.
Yeah, because we saw some that got stuff early, and then sometimes they just, they just sort of, some of them, we were just like, wow, this person's already on a TV show and doing films, and then sometimes they just drifted away because they didn't have that early work ethic.
Yeah,
or they didn't put a lot of time in. So, but I agree, man. I mean, there's definitely more. Hey, look, we did a year, which went by quick with this podcast. You know what I mean?
Wow, I didn't even realize that it's been a year.
It's been a year, dude. We started this year, a year ago, and
oh man, I'm proud of us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I put up with you for a year. Wow.
I get a lot of.
I deserve an award.
I get a lot of private messages saying, "Hey, man, he's lucky to have you. Just know your worth, Sanchez." No, I'm kidding. I don't get those. But
no, I mean, here's the thing, man. People enjoy the podcast, which we're very grateful for, and I think my commitment,
yes, Trenton, yes,
I think my commitment this year to the podcast is to be even more honest, more transparent. Because I think a lot of times when we're going through things in life, we think we're the only ones that are going through it.
Right.
And I think when you're transparent, kind of letting people know your struggles, it makes people go, oh, man, I'm not the only one who's dealing with this. And that's a great thing about being a comic. That's a great thing about being able to write stuff to let people know that they're not alone. And then to have a show like this, because we call it the best of everything for a lot of different reasons, but we want everybody to have the best of everything that life has to offer. Right. So there'll be fun. We'll continue to make people laugh, but we want you to think and want you to know that you aren't alone out there. And we'll have more guests on this year.
Yeah, you know what? Because I know we discussed this over the break that we've got, and it's not that it's going to be a podcast with just comics or whatever, but we've got some great comics that keep hitting.
Yeah.
I got hit up so much, dude, at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man. I'll come do, and I'm kind of, I think we both realize we bring on people that we know, that we love, and no matter what the level is, whether they're, what are you grinning at? Somebody say something?
No, my friend Yanni called back to your jokes. We have a running joke about
IWF.
Which stands for I will fuck your shit up. And he goes, that's verbal laziness. Shout out Yanni.
Yeah.
That's my boy in Montreal that I talk about.
Yeah,
man.
no, he's been on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, ifs you. I thought it was a.
Oh, you thought it was like a word he was trying to spell?
Yeah, it was a word that you guys, but that's.
But Johnny, it's like like everybody's going through so much. No matter what level.
And why is that? Is it because now we're involved with each other on social media? Because I felt like, remember years, let's just, doesn't even have to be that long ago. Let's just pre-social media. So let's just say 2005 and beyond or whatever, or even 2010 and before. We didn't really know what was going on with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You knew what was sort of going on with your friends. Some comics would be like, man, dude, I need work. I mean, that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
Now we're knowing about people battling illnesses and diseases or they're broke or,
But even to that point, Johnny, I think we are getting more information, but I don't think we're getting a lot of honest information on social media. Because when you scroll down, everybody's life is perfect. Everybody's set. They destroyed. Everyone's doing great. Everyone is rich and has money. Yeah. And that's not reality.
Yeah. And driving an 89 Toyota Tercel.
Yeah, these women are posting pictures that they took an hour before they got it right to post.
Yeah, that's a lot of that.
And then you got some chick that's looking at it going, I'm never going to look like that. Or it's photoshopped, or it's all these other things. Yeah. And it's constantly in our face. And I think if you're struggling and then you look at social media sometimes, you're like, man, I ain't shit. Like, damn, I need to get my life together. When the reality is their life isn't even together.
Especially when some of the, and look, good for these types of comics, okay? because I get it. It's all perception.
Yeah.
But sometimes you look and going, wow, sold out again.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out they didn't sell out.
Yeah.
You either work at that club later, right after them, and they're like, oh yeah, like that person did not sell out.
Yeah.
But they post, like, oh, I get it. It looks great. It look, you know what I mean? Like that, I can't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I brought in the New Year at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas, January, not New Year's Eve, but January 1st through the 5th or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I Friday I posted, they put your photo up on that huge marquee outside on the Las Vegas Strip. Now, to us, we might even pick it apart a little. You know what I mean? Like, look at the photo going, oh, that's not the photo I should have used or whatever. Then my cousin was like, she goes, like, whisper out to my cousin, Trisha. Anyway, she goes, so what's it feel like to have your name up in lights on the Vegas Strip? And I was like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
We don't think like that.
No.
And I wrote back to her. I go, oh wow. I see that, and initially my thought is, okay, it's time to get to work, because I saw it when I arrived in Vegas at the Tropicana, and I saw it, but I didn't take a picture of it. I just was like, all right, man, I got these shows to do, this 10 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, wait a minute. And then you start thinking of all the performers in the last 60 years whose face has been up on a marquee on the Las Vegas Strip. And then I was like, oh, that is a big deal. But it is. Like, those are those moments that we have hard times patting ourselves on the back with.
Yeah, you can't take it for granted. Not everybody gets the opportunity to have that.
Exactly.
And not only, I mean, just saying the Vegas Strip is literally one of the most popular strips in the entire world.
Yeah, everybody from all over the world is. I didn't even think about it like that.
And I will say this, like, because I get, because I do Ruby Tuesdays, a lot of comics hit me up, and we always have a conversation with comics. One thing I keep going back to, and this is tied into the work ethic and being honest with yourself and what you are actually trying to accomplish, is, what is your real plan? You're doing stand-up, you live in LA, but you're not a regular at any of the clubs, but you're a comic. And this is not to shit on anybody,
right,
but it's like, if you believe in yourself and you're good, and I know there's politics and everything you gotta
to deal with.
You have to deal with,
right?
But just between the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, the Improv, the Ice House, and the Comedy Magic Club, and you're not doing any spots at any of those clubs, and it's not saying you can't make it or be successful if you're not, or the Comedy Union, let me not leave the Comedy Union out, but any spot, like, dude, I never see you.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never see you out there.
Right.
I never hear of you doing spots. Now, if you're doing bar shows and everything, that's cool, but how long are you just going to do just bar shows?
Yeah.
At some point, don't you want to be on the main stage to be seen and show your goods in that type of environment? So it's just funny. People want to complain, but it's like, yo, hey man, how do I get into the Laugh Factory? Well, maybe show up sometimes. Or how do I get into the Improv? Show up. How do I get to the store? Show up, because if you're not showing up, guess what? Somebody else is showing up.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue doing that. And you're going to, wait to get lucky or hope something happens?
Pops for you, then you're right. Yeah.
You got to be more relentless for what you want. And I'm not just saying that, to the comics listening or watching. I'm saying that to myself also. It's like, for whatever I want, how bad do you want it? Put a plan together and really go after it and be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
But I just hear comics complain all the time. It's like, oh man, I can't get spots. Like, dude, I never see you. One phone call or one email ain't gonna do it, bro.
Right.
There's somebody there sitting in the lobby waiting for somebody not to show up so they can go on.
That's true.
Me and you both know that.
And you and I we've always said we've never taken it for granted with being a regular at the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store or whatever. We've always appreciated those spots, man. I mean, just how some, there are those comics we know that just cancel all the time.
Yes.
They're getting spots at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And they'll just,
because they don't like the spot. Man, it's a late spot. It's just,
never mind. Or I'm not going to show, and like you said, there's somebody that could have used that spot.
Yeah. Somebody could use that spot. But here's the thing. It's different if you're Kevin Hart or George Lopez or Chris Rock, and you're turning down spots or whatever because you're going back home to your mansion. But you're turning down spots and you're going back to your fucking studio apartment that you don't want to be in. Like at some point, you got to go, what am I?
Oh, also, let's. I love bringing this back up. I know we said this before, but it's what your sister said to you.
Oh man,
and this falls into this because I love what she said when you answered the phone. At what time?
It was like
2
o'clock in the afternoon.
You were what? You were.
I was just waking up, and then she was like, "You sleep?" And I go, "Yeah." And she's like, "It's 2 o'clock." I go, "I know, man. I had a set last night and we hung out afterwards." She was like, "But it's 2 o'clock, Ruben." I was like, "Yeah, I know." But she's like, "Nigga, you too broke to be asleep." And how she said it.
It's just a great quote.
It's just a great quote.
It's gotta be
You're too broke to be asleep.
You're too broke to be asleep at 2 p.m.
Yeah. So a lot of times in life, like part of being perfectly honest is,
Stan. Yes.
being perfectly honest is a lot of, especially I can only speak for this business. I mean, you have talked about this privately. A lot of it is fighting depression and doubt and fear or whatever that is for you to get up and do the things you know you should be doing.
Yeah.
It's hard to feel motivated when you feel less than, or you don't feel like, man, why am I going to go there, man? It ain't like, I'm going to get, it's the negative mindset. Like, man, why am I going to drive all the way down the Laugh Factory, man? I live in Montebello or I live in Orange County, man. Why am I going to make that drive? But we remember back in the day, people used to walk and catch buses. And
I almost brought this up earlier. I remember, I'll never forget that time. For those of you that remember the Arsenio Hall show, and he had Eddie Murphy on, and it was a big reunion with the two of them. And they were talking about the times that they were taking the bus to gigs.
Yeah.
That was you could just see them reminiscing, and it was bringing back that work ethic that they had. Remember we would catch the bus from blah, 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 just to get to the Comedy Store. Then we would take the bus, da, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that should never stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to take the bus from Woodland Hills to the Comedy Store when I was an open micer. It took 90 minutes, took an hour and a half to get there, and I'd have to catch the last one at 12:30. That was the last one. And I got home at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm looking back going, that was for about 6 months. I didn't have a car. But every Saturday night I was on that bus. I had to walk down to the little...
Because you wanted it.
Because
you left home. Your dad told you you'd be back. Like, it's all these things that it's like...
in 3 months.
Yeah, you'll be back in 3 months. Let me get on this damn bus.
And also for the comics or to everybody, that was to do 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we were getting was 5 minutes. But those 3 hours to me were worth it. You know what I mean? And the ride home was always, the ride there, I had the butterflies. I just couldn't, I was just like, I hope my set goes good. Then I'd do 5 minutes. I'd hang out to as long as I could because the show was around 8 or 8:30. I'd hang out in the outside of the patio of the Comedy Store. And then, but the ride back, I remember just always having this grin on my, like I did 5. And I'm going to get home at 2, and I'm going to be back this next Saturday night. Not at the time I was doing other little rooms, of course, but that was the big deal, was going down to the Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that interesting that we've talked about how we practically lived on the Strip?
Man,
it's about 25 years of working on the Sunset Strip, dude. Like, it's just amazing. When you look back, you go, I've been on this Strip we've been on the Strip equal to people who retire at a company, at one company.
Yeah.
So-and-so's retiring. Well, he put in 25 years.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
We've been 25 years on the Strip, dude.
That's crazy. And to be in the game this long and be able to drive down the Strip and be able to see my face on the Laugh Factory marquee.
Yeah.
And that's because I continue to work, I continue to hustle, and I'm even going to work harder to be better. And I will say this, talking about depression and the struggles that we go through, that everybody goes through in life, because, I just think we should all, no matter what you do for a living or where you are, you should want to better yourself and just try to maximize and live the best possible life you can live, accomplish whatever goals or dreams you might have. But I think an important piece of that is surround yourself with
I
people
was just gonna say, okay,
who
I was gonna say it in a different way, but the exact same thing.
Yeah, surround
Stay
yourself
away
with
from
people.
the negative.
Yeah, stay away from that, and surround yourself with people who encourage you, who push you, who want you to be better. Because that helps.
1 p.m. every Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah, it really helps, because when you have those times where you're feeling down, I mean, you've talked about this, and kind of how our friendship grew, I think, was from mutual admiration. When I'm at home, depressed, wondering why, I can't get booked, why I don't have an agent, why this, why that, and then to get on the phone with you and be like, yeah, dude, you're one of the funniest guys out here.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes you have to be reminded.
Yeah.
And people always laugh at entourages that celebrities have. Whether it's whatever celebrity.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize, those people are around them to constantly encourage them.
That's their hype team.
That's their hype team.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali had Bundini Brown. He was, Muhammad, the greatest, the most confident person that we've ever seen, needed somebody to go, the champ is here. You're the greatest. Nobody could beat you. You're the best of all time. You're the greatest, because sometimes you need that. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel that. So it helps to have friends or family or a wife or a girlfriend that's supportive.
Yeah, that's big.
Friends that are supportive, that push you and go, yo, man, I know, things aren't going the way that you want them to go in your life right now, but I'm telling you, man, if you just keep on pushing, keep on grinding, it's going to happen. But most importantly, you have to believe it's going to happen, because if you don't believe it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. The person who says they can and the person who says they can't are both right.
Boom.
So what choice are you going to make for your life? Yeah. Like, I'm telling you guys, whatever you're trying to do, if you study whatever occupation you're in or whatever you want to do, most of the people who are usually successful work the hardest.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make excuses or say, yeah, but their father was this and that. And a lot of that is true, but I'm talking about the majority. Are really people who busted their ass, who were relentless. And you hear countless stories, whether it's from Denzel Washington or Robert De Niro or what, like some of the things that they had to do. Oh yeah, man, there were 4 of us living in a studio apartment in New York City. And, we used to do that. Like, you hear these stories, people sleeping in their cars and doing these things. That's like when somebody goes, yeah, I used to sleep in my car. There's literally 100 comments like, me too, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, now what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever you had to do, whatever hardship you had to go through, like, it's just a part of the process, but you got to stay the course. Right. And I'm just, I'm excited about this year. I look at you, man, as my friend, but even as a talent, and it's like, you're so talented and you have so much more to offer than people have even seen. Like, I don't think people have even seen like half of how good you are.
Well, thanks, brother.
As an actor, as a comic, you do impressions, you know what I mean? And and to put you on a lineup, you always come through. Right. You snap sometimes, but for the most part, when you stay out of your head, and that's kind of my job as your friend.
This goes to show you guys. I ended up hosting the 10 o'clock show on New Year's Eve at the Lafayette.
Oh my God.
And you know what, man? I was so in my head that night. I was just like, they're not. It's a New Year's Eve crowd. They're not into me. Everybody's like, you're doing great, Judy, because I don't normally host.
Yeah.
And I just was so in my head because instead of just going up and doing what I do, right?
Yeah.
I start overthinking hosting. And I don't even know why I do that to myself. It's like, Johnny, go up
and host
do
the show,
what I
bro.
do.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't need to be a perfectly, like I'm the host of this.
Yeah. I know, it was to me, from being your friend and watching, it was weird. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Just like, why are you overthinking this?
Totally.
Just go and perform. And then here's the thing: when you get to a certain level of good, even your best is going to be better than most. So even like as comics, a lot of times, I'll be honest. A lot of times, I'm not happy with my set.
Right.
And then everybody else
But
is like, damn, dude, you
you
destroyed.
killed- yeah.
But I remember it's like, man, I forgot that line. And man, I should have did that joke before this joke.
Yeah.
And that transition was sloppy. But that's my job as a comic to want to get better. And
So your in your opinion, but your mediocre set is better than most comics' best set.
Absolutely.
And we have a tendency to forget about, hold on, man.
Yeah.
I want to give a whisper out to Omar. Also, my boy Danny Faria. What? Epa! We're taking it back to Tulare, brother. Tipton, right?
I've never
Epa!
heard anybody so happy
Danny
to be.
Faria.
That
What's
makes
the matter
you who
for
you are.
you, huh? What's the matter for you? That's the Portuguese accent.
Now you're. Are you going to commit to being Portuguese in 2020? Are you
Well,
all in now?
I told you it changed. Remember? It came down a little bit. Now I'm 30. I'm basically 30 for 30.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Chris. I'm 30 for 30. I'm 30% Mexican, 30% Portuguese, and 30%
That's not.
Spaniard. I could have been a conquistador.
Oh.
I could have been somebody. I could have been a conquistador. See what I did with that?
No.
Instead of I could have been a contender.
Johnny, I was just telling everybody how talented you are, then you go on match. Jeez, man. How's those Latino tours going, by the way?
Oh, that's right, eh? I'm really glad you brought it up, homie. Orale, if there's any Latino promoters out there, you know what, eh? I'm looking for any type of Latino tour within the intercontinental of the U.S., maybe even internationally too, homie. I got a trademark that's never been done by any Latino comedian in the history of Latino comedian. And I walk out, I go, where are my Latinos at? If you're Latino, I'm proud. Clap, eh? Anyway, hit me up, home.
You're going to get a lot of work, man.
What if I just made a switch in 2020 and I'm
you
going
started
on
dressing
stage,
different?
just going a little more cholo with it and what's up, eh? Look at the white people, they all bashful and shit, huh? I had a guy say that recently at Rite Aid. There was some cholo behind us. We didn't know where to.
Look at all the white people, all bashful.
Dude, he used bashful. We were
bashful, eh?
We were in a Rite Aid, and I guess nobody knew where the line was. We were like, everybody was just kind of They didn't have it. This was in Tulare, so of course they don't have it like roped or anything. It's like a free for all in that place. And I was standing around, and then some chola came walking up behind, and he's all, I could hear him smacking, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then he goes, oh man, I'll just walk up, man. Why are you guys acting all bashfully?
Bashful.
Like, we're like this, kicking, shuffling our feet side to side. Bashful. I was like, oh, typical.
Man,
That's a real cholo right there. You still using bashful, bro.
Albert just said, do a whole set as Little Joker.
What, eh? Wait a minute. Hey, this car looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, there's my probation officer. No, not so good, eh? Wait, what, eh?
And me and Johnny will be doing a lot more skits and stuff together.
Thank you.
What?
I spent all
this
last year going, Ruben, let's do some little like things. Even
Johnny,
on here,
let me
dude.
tell you how much Johnny is lying right now.
Chris, who's the one that was always like, we need to do more stuff together?
Yeah,
We
but
need to do
who's
sketches.
the one that can't schedule them?
I don't hear back from you. Ruben, hey, everybody. You are not doing this in 2020, by the way.
No, I am doing this.
No. I'm going to tell you. You didn't even know
You
what
can
I'm going
always
to talk
tell.
about.
All right, go ahead.
Ruben, this dude, we get together on Wednesday, and then like either Wednesday evening or Thursday, I would text him, hey, man, what do you want to do? Should we do a sketch together? Should we come up? And this dude spent 2019 ghosting me. Motherfuckers ghosting me. I don't hear from him until we show up on Wednesday.
Can I respond?
Did you get my text
Can I
7 days ago?
Can I respond?
Will you at least say, yes, I ghost Johnny?
I don't ghost you. You think I ghost you, but I don't ghost you.
You know what? I'm going to start taking a screenshot of it. It's going to show the date and time.
To be honest with you, 2019 was a lot going on.
Every day, 365 days.
No, but those times where you were motivated to do something just happened to be times where I was probably, dealing with some things.
Why don't you can just text me that, you know that, right? Or call me on that. And just be like, hey,
when
John, I got
when you
things to-
answer your phone, or when you're pretty good at ghosting on Texas too, man. Oh, dude, I was caught up, man. I'm sorry, man. Oh, I didn't respond to you. I meant to respond. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. We're both guilty of it. Can we agree?
I'll only agree if it's a 70-30 percentage.
Let's go 60-40.
You're 60, I'm 40.
Yes.
How about 65-25?
Nah.
Wait, that doesn't
even add up. Jesus.
Does?
65-25.
That's 90.
That Tulare education.
Well, I guess we just forgot why
no
I don't
matter
make
there's
the
so many
money.
farms there. We don't want to go to school.
Oh, they don't. Well, some do talk like that.
65-25. Boy, Johnny
All right,
was
let's go 60-40, and we'll go on that. No more ghosting in 2020.
Yeah. I mean,
At least it just even if you just go, hey, let me think about it and get back to you.
But here's the thing: it kind of goes under the umbrella of what I'm saying. Like the things that me and you want to accomplish together and individually is going to take an extra.
Yeah,
it's going to take extra effort. So a lot of those issues will be resolved. And I'm telling you, dude, is when you sit back and people do a lot of reflecting in December.
Yeah. Sure.
Before the start of the new year, and you kind of look back, you kind of have to, you can't dwell in the past on what you didn't do. And that leads to even more depression sometimes
well, that
too.
can get you in a,
when you sit back and like, man, why didn't I do
this?
this? And man, I should have did that. I know I should have, and you keep blaming yourself, and then it puts you in a position where you're helpless. But I will say this, in making changes to your life and whatever you want to do, whatever you want to go towards, any amount of time is better than no amount of time. And I think sometimes we get in our head, man, if I can't spend 3 or 4 hours, I don't want to do it. Or if I can't spend, sometimes if you just worked on your act 10 minutes a day, if you could commit to 10 minutes a day.
Or whatever you do.
Whatever you do.
Artwork, whatever
you do.
It's building a car. Yeah.
There's a book out, and I'll try to find it, where it talked about this lady who, I think it was 15 minutes a day.
Whisper out Renee Diaz.
She made a commitment. I think it was 15 minutes a day. I have to go home and look it up.
15 minutes?
Yeah, and what happened is, and here's the thing, she had a newborn, she was married, it's like job, the whole thing. But she committed to a minimal amount of time every single day, no matter what. And she ended up like writing novels.
Wow.
Multiple.
Wow.
With just that commitment. And I think sometimes we get in our own way, like, man, 10 minutes ain't gonna do anything, but 10 minutes will do something. If you literally sat for 10 minutes and looked at a joke for 10 minutes straight, something is gonna pop up, or, but at least you've done something, and then the next day you do another 10. And sometimes you'll get to the point where you'll look, I'm like, oh man, I spent 30 minutes doing this. But you don't get in your way and put pressure on yourself. I remember the last podcast we you said something about when people make resolutions, they put too much pressure on themselves. Like, I'm going to start on this
day, especially the first.
Yeah.
Starting on that day can be
something that derails you from staying consistent.
Correct.
And I think if you take the pressure off yourself and go, hey man, I might not be able. Working out is another thing. It's like sometimes, like, man, I got to be somewhere. All I got is 20 minutes. And you got to
bring this up. Man, we're on the same. All right, go. Yeah.
And then you go, man, I don't have enough time to work out. But dude, doing push-ups and sit-ups for 15 minutes is better than doing absolutely nothing.
I remember when I had roommates, I had my weights and stuff we were all sharing a house, a 4-bedroom house, and. I remember one time my friend's like, you're not going to work out today? I go, because I wouldn't typically work out for an hour.
Yeah.
That was like the minimum I would do all the time. And then I go, man, I really don't have time to do an hour, man. And I remember he goes, well, why don't you just do 15 minutes? And I was like, well, because I like to do my hour workout. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, isn't a 15-minute workout better than no workout? And I was like, I'll be right out. Even just getting whatever it was, it's.
But like Johnny, that's a hard concept to accept when we get things stuck in our mind. When you go, man,
And you and I have a little bit of that OCD thing.
Absolutely.
Where we get in our thing
And
where it's got to be this.
And you know, I made a commitment, especially like the last couple of years, to break a lot of that, because it doesn't serve you. You know what I mean? It really doesn't in the long run.
Yeah.
We convinced ourselves like, you know what, man, I can't work out for, think about it. If you say it out loud, man, I can't work out for an hour, so I'm not going to do anything.
Right.
I can't, man. I can't write for 30 minutes, man. I can't sit down that, man. So I'm not going to write at all.
Yeah, I do my best work if it's an hour. So why should I sit down at? Yeah, you're just
do something, man.
Yeah,
just do something, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to accomplish, wherever you're just do something, man, and it will make a difference, because the key is not the quantity, it's the quality.
Yeah,
and the problem is, because we get certain things stuck in our head, or we have to do certain things a certain way, it affects the consistency. And to be successful, you have to be consistent.
You have to be consistent.
Got to be consistent. Yeah. That's with everything. Relationships, work, everything is about being consistent. And I just want to be consistent is the word for me. I just want to be consistent. I feel like I'm consistent when I perform, et cetera, but there are other things that I should be doing on a regular basis, more consistently.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, Johnny, if we do those things, and I'm telling you guys who are listening, if you, whatever that consistency is, 5 minutes a day, 3 minutes a day, but if you do that every single day, I guarantee you're going to see a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible not to.
Right. You'll see results.
It's like when people work out and go, man, I'm not seeing any results. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, just be consistent. And if you're not seeing results, you're not being consistent at something.
Right.
So you got to figure that out, whatever that, but any consistency is going to get you to where you're trying to get. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about, and just kind of blows me away when you see people who are successful and you are thinking you're going to hear this, big, secret, of how they achieve this success.
All very basic, and
this is very basic. Like, hey man, I just didn't give up and I stayed consistent.
Yeah.
And you can't show up one day
What's up, Chantel?
And then disappear for a month. You know what I mean? Or, you hit the club 1 week and then they don't see you for a month and a half or whatever. Like, whatever you want, if you show up, especially if you're good, people will give you an opportunity. Let me tell you, man, and me and Johnny both know this. There's some people, and I respect the hell out of them, who are so relentless, man. Even if you think they suck, you're like, man, give this mother. Yes, you can go. Like, absolutely, you can have a shot.
Yeah,
just because you respect the persistence, man.
We've known quite a few of those.
Yeah,
just like, you're still hounding that booker. Yeah, man, because he hasn't booked me.
Yeah.
So you're emailing him every day or every other day? Yes.
Yeah, until he tells me to stop.
Right.
Or
and I know for talking to some of the club owners, when I go out on the road, they'll be like, "Hey man, do you know?" They'll bring up a name to me. You know so and so, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know," or I run into him or whatever. Like, I had to finally give him a week, man.
You know, who used to be like that. Patrick DeGear.
Patrick DeGear.
Man. Relentless.
And he knew it. He knew that he drove them crazy.
Yeah.
But he said, well, I want a week.
And he'd end up getting it.
Yeah. But here's the thing about Patrick, really good.
Absolutely.
And really funny.
Absolutely.
So it was,
yeah.
But there's also the other ones where some bookers would go, look, I know this, he or she's not that strong, but I can't take this. I got to give him a week. And then, and then, so I'm done with that for this year. Mm-hmm. But that person's doing that to multiple bookers. And you're like, wow, that's where I would send something and then I'd wait. And then I'd be like, I guess I should hit him back up.
Well, here's the problem me and you both have. And this is something that I'm making a conscious decision of. And then a lot of times we get in our heads like, man, I've been doing this a long time. I've done this. I got these credits or whatever. Man, I ain't doing that shit. But the whole thing of I'll hit you twice, and if I don't hear back from you, I'm done. That's just a club or opportunity. You just scratch off the list because of ego. And you got to be able to humble yourself until you get to where you want to get.
Because it's what gets in our head, or I'm sure with us, is like, he didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
I sent him my bio. It shows everything I've done.
Yeah. Or I got this references, or this
I got,
person vouched for me.
And I got all these names and they didn't get back. No, you gotta.
And when you talk to bookers, and they'll tell you, it's like, do you know how many emails I get? Yeah. And then when you realize it's like they're getting 300-400 emails, because if you think about all the comics that are in the world or in the country that are looking for work, who's going to get noticed? Obviously the ones that have a high profile and the ones who are relentless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't complain about certain things if you don't even give yourself an opportunity to get them. Why like a lot of times we see people hating on people who book roles and certain things. Like, dude, you didn't even audition for it. Why are you mad?
Yeah.
Right. It ain't like you were up for the role and they beat you out, et cetera, et cetera. Shouldn't be mad even then, but that's a whole nother conversation. But for the most part, you're not even putting your hat in the ring. Where did that phrase come from? Putting your hat in the ring.
Toss your hat in the ring?
Yeah.
Sounds like a boxing reference.
I know, but I've never seen a hat tossed in the ring.
Maybe back in the day, was that before a towel?
I don't know.
Was it one of the coaches or trainers who throw the hat? But that's giving up. Though.
Yeah, that's when you throw the towel in.
Yeah, throwing the hat in the ring.
Throw your hat in the ring.
Thanks, Leslie. This was supposed to be Motley Crue's last tour show, and now they're doing another one.
I have an answer.
What's the answer?
The ring in question here is a boxing ring. These, of course, used to be circular spaces in a crowd of onlookers rather than the square. And I maybe the hat might have. I'm trying to read really fast, but I think the hat might have been a way to would throw his hat. Presumably, this was a more of a reliable way of putting oneself forward than just shouting over the. Oh, they used it to
get the attention.
To get the attention and to challenge the boxer.
That's the challenge.
Like
got the guy with those little newspaper hats. I bet the paper boy.
Yeah.
Probably those type of.
So now we know where a phrase came from.
Thanks, man.
So at the end of the day, give yourself an opportunity to be successful, man. And that's whatever you do, just take a little bit of time to start off for whatever. This is like saving money. Like they'll tell you save $1 a day or whatever it is.
It's like in other words, putting your work ethic in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
People drop $1, some coins every day.
Yeah.
That's kind of that.
And I will say this. My mom used to always say this to me, like everything that you do, you're sowing seed. And when you plant, this being from a farm town, there's a time where the harvest comes. So you just want to keep planting good seed, man. And then knowing sooner or later,
you cultivate.
If you stay consistent, you keep watering it, you keep showing up, I'm telling you, man, I used to have a friend. I used to have a friend who used to say this all the time, and he used to annoy me, but it's really true when you think about it. He's like, Rube, you're going to get out exactly what you put in.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's a hard truth, because I'm like, nah, man, I put it in, but this happened and that happened. And man, if it wasn't for this, and you're talking to two people who've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of devastation in my life, and not to use that as an excuse, but there's probably been times where I probably stayed in that pain or that depression for too long that caused me to miss opportunities. And maybe I didn't need to, maybe that's where I was supposed to be at the time or whatever. Yeah. But when you're conscious of it, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. Another saying my mom used to say all the time. So when you know there's things you should be doing, when you know there's more out there, you got to make the commitment to do it and just try to be consistent. Just consistency should be for everybody. Let's just be consistent, whatever it is, whether it's 5 minutes a day. If you do 5 minutes a day, every single day, I'm telling you, you're going to see some difference.
Some difference, yeah.
Instead of just making excuses why not to do something. And one thing that annoys me, and me and you talk about this also, is there's certain people out there will always tell you why you can't do something. Mm-hmm. Surround yourself with people who tell you or who encourage you or show you how something can be done. Yeah. Or how you can figure it out. Like nothing is impossible if you believe. I truly believe that.
I mean, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
People accomplishing amazing things.
Yeah.
Oh, I love skulls too, by the way, Leslie.
Leslie chiming in. Hello, Leslie.
Yeah.
She didn't say nothing about Joe Louis?
No, she likes skulls. I like
okay.
skulls.
You like skulls?
I love skulls. That's why I love Day of the Dead so much, that celebration.
Oh, what's that? Something Las Muertes or something? Well, you're not. Why am I asking you? You're not. You don't know Spanish.
Dia de los Muertos. Oh.
What is it?
See?
What is it? Repeat it. Repeat
¿Verdad?
it.
¿Verdad, muchacho? Oh, snaps. That's my conquistador coming out. That is my true conquistador.
All right.
Okay. Hey, I didn't know. I only annoyed you like twice.
Yeah. So it's getting better, man. It's getting better.
I'm not going to promise that for the whole year, but
You have to.
Johnny Chingas, Gary Wasson. Hey, man, quit killing all them fish, dude. I see you murdering all those fish. Bass Lake, and then taking pictures of your murders.
You're an idiot.
He's a fish serial killer, Gary Wasson.
And you know him from Tulare? Is he back home?
Tulare, man. He plays in a band called Mr. Rude. They play every other Saturday night or something at the cellar door.
Oh, all right.
Leslie's like, love your shirt.
Thank you, Leslie.
Do you know who Joe Louis is?
She knows who Joe. She can Google it real quick. But he's one of the best fighters of all time.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some
you're
people,
telling me
some
that?
People, I know you know. Some people think he is.
You telling me 6 years?
Some people think he is the greatest fighter of all time. But that's a whole nother conversation.
We're gonna do an episode, by the way, because I'm gonna find the list that this guy he used to write for Ring magazine.
I think I know what you. I think I know the list of the top boxers and why.
Oh, heavyweights.
Oh,
specifically heavyweights.
Oh, okay.
And the list would blow everybody away because the people that everybody thinks Tyson and they're not even at the top.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't even in the top 10 because he witnessed the fighters from the I believe the 50s and 60s as well.
Yeah.
So those are a lot of boxers we weren't familiar with. I'm a little familiar with them, but there were names and I was like, I don't remember this guy.
Yeah.
So that to me is somebody. This guy used to be ringside.
Oh, absolutely.
So somebody like that should be,
Yeah, no, definitely.
Stop.
What? Oh,
I'm Trolley Rivera. No, we're not doing this.
Eric chimed in. We're about to get out of here anyway. What up, E? Anyway, so this year, go after what you want. Don't overthink it. Consistency is key. Whether it's 5 minutes a day, but whatever you're going after, just be consistent with it. Because the life you want is out there. You just got to go get it, and believe, and surround yourself with people who encourage you, and who motivate you, who push you to be better, and stay away from negative energy. But you got to believe. If you don't believe
like
it for
Erica
yourself,
Rivera. That's negative energy.
Yeah,
I posted yesterday. No trolls in 2020.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we're just gonna start. I'm just gonna start blocking him or deleting his comments.
You know, you guys need to settle this, man.
There's nothing to be said. No, he just needs to stop. That's the bottom line. He's gonna stop. That's it. This is the last one he's gonna do.
All right, there you have it.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna change your name to?
What?
Johnny taking no shit Sanchez.
That's right. Not in 2020.
Not in 2020, man. Well, man, I'm excited for this year to see what it brings. I wish everybody the best year of their lives this year in 2020, and go after it, and be looking forward to some great episodes, and we're gonna have some fun, and guests.
We're gonna be having a lot of guests this year. All
absolutely.
Right. Thanks, guys.
All right, this is the best of everything.
All you positive peeps, thank you.
And tell a friend, share. You could find us on iTunes, Google Play,
Spotify,
anywhere you can.
Swap Meet.
Can we cut that this year? Like, it doesn't work.
I just like your reaction. You always have to react to it. That's why I do it.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening, man. Happy 2020.
2020.
And hey, live the best life you could possibly live. And if you're not happy with your life, you can make some changes.
5 minutes a day.
Just take the first step and try to do it daily. All right, we out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're gonna see at Ruby Tuesdays.